Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to episode 7. It's Monday night. I got 2 more questions to cover today, 2 more topics. Give everyone a few minutes to kind of log in. So if you're tuning in later, I'm going to start in about like 3-4 minutes. So give me just a few minutes, a little bit of dead time, just to finish getting ready. Hope everyone's having a good Monday so far. What's up, Roy? Welcome. Zoe's here too. Hi, Zoe. Oh, it's warm in here. Lights are a little bright. Hi, Roy. Hello. Oh, Zoe, how you feeling? You sore from Friday? Oh, I forgot. Put a little background. Not too bad. That's good. Yeah, Kaz was feeling terrible at the beginning. Alright, give everyone like 1 or 2 minutes and then we'll get started, Zoe. So if you have something you need to do real quick, go ahead. I think Jeffrey wants to be let in. What up, Shauna? I'm here, guys. Oh, good. Good, that means you're getting back into it. That's awesome. Hi, Shauna. You made it this time. I'm just kidding. I know you were on there last time. I just took a while. No work calls tonight. That's why I moved it a half hour. Also, I wouldn't have made it on time. Alright, you guys. I want to go ahead and get this started so we can finish it. So we're not on here too long. I gotta see Shauna in less than 12 hours. Yay. Alright, so tonight, I know you can hear Jeffrey now. So tonight, it's the same thing, 2 questions. One, actually Shauna submitted, so thank you, Shauna. And the other one is a topic that I kind of like to talk about just because there's a lot of confusion around it. So I kind of just want to, I don't want to say clear the air, but give you guys a little bit of perspective on these, facts, basically, facts and ideas. Okay, so first thing, how much cardio should I be doing for weight loss? Every day, every other day, with my workout, different days, off days, and since cardio essentially burns fat, we've all heard the saying cardio burns fat, should I increase the frequency of it? So if you're only doing it once a week, should you do it twice a week? If you're doing it 4 times a week, should you do it 5 or 6 times a week? There's a lot of answers to that, it's a yes and no answer, but more on the yes side, just depending on how you're doing the cardio. So when we think of cardio, first thing we think of is running, right? Running on the treadmill, Stairmaster, elliptical, all that boring stuff that you don't want to do in the gym. So I get that, it's difficult to do it to begin with. You just have to be creative with how you do your cardiovascular work, and then also how you program it in your workouts or how you, you know, pair it with your training. All right, so I definitely don't have, you know, I'm not going to say that what I'm saying right now is going to be completely true and accurate. I'm definitely a little biased around cardio work because just like everyone else, I don't like it as much. But you know, if we get creative with it, then it doesn't make it so awful to have to do cardio. Okay. So when it comes to cardio, you don't want to think it's cardiovascular. The whole word is cardiovascular, right? So that it's more about building up your system to be able to pump blood through your body a lot faster and more efficiently, right? So that's why you feel your heart rate. Your heart rate goes up. It's pumping blood through the body, which is in turn giving oxygen to your muscles. So it's a big old cycle, but it doesn't necessarily mean just go run. All right, there's a lot of variations. If you guys have worked out with me or if you guys have seen my videos, you know that there's a lot of variations of cardio that we can do in the gym. So you can pair med ball slams, you know, overhead. You do the wall toss to the wall. That's two different moves. You're getting a power move, so you're getting your cardiovascular work, and then you're getting the rotational move. So you're adding a different element to it, so it makes it a lot more challenging. You got your battle ropes, so you got explosive body work up top. That's definitely good for endurance and for really getting that heart rate up. Box jumps, anything with jumping, you know, like your split jumps, your lateral bounds side to side, your box jumps, your squat jumps, anything like that where you're jumping up and landing, you're using power and force to come off the ground. That's gonna bring your heart rate up because it's a lot more challenging, right? So the other thing that I like to do with any cardiovascular work is pair it with strength training. I do work with a lot of athletes, so it's best to tire out their strength energy system and then throw them into a cardiovascular exercise to really test their system and really get their heart pumping that blood. The more your heart works, the more calories you burn. It takes energy to efficiently pump blood through the body. So that's what burns calories. That's where your body needs energy at that point, and that's where we talk about burning fat. Your body's going to use fat for energy before it's going to use carbohydrates and your muscle, right? So that's why cardio is so important, but it's best to pair it with strength training so that you don't lose your gains, right? We want to maintain that strength and that structure in your body while still getting that lean, fit look that most of us want. If you look at soccer players and basketball players, what's up, Eddie? If you look at soccer players and basketball players, their physiques are more toned and lean, less body fat. They're under that 8% body fat threshold, but they're still strong. And that's because they're doing those cardiovascular intervals, right? So that takes me to my next point. When you do add cardio to your workouts, you're going to want to add them as high intensity bouts of whatever that may be, right? So let's say I do my workout, I'm going to do goblet squat, and then I'm going to do lunges, and I'm going to either add box jumps or med ball slams because I'm at home and that's the equipment I have. It's all good, buddy. If I only have, a med ball at home, or if I have a box to jump on, or just squat jumps, so I'm going to do squats, I'm going to do lunges, and then because my legs are tired now, I'm going to add a high intensity bout of cardiovascular work. So I'm going to do 30 seconds of squat jumps. All right, by the time you're done, I'm pretty sure you're gassed, right? You're breathing, your heart rate's up, so you need to get that heart rate back down and then get back into that workout. So if you're going to do cardiovascular work, add it at the end of a set, make it high intensity, and that way it's not boring. You're not on the treadmill for 45 minutes, you're not on the stairs for 45 minutes, and it doesn't become a repetitive boring exercise, okay? And then if you're gonna add some cardiovascular work, I'd say do it if you're doing 3 to 4 times a day of strength training, lifting weights and things like that, do it twice a week if you're gonna do strictly cardio. And again, you're gonna wanna do high intensity bouts of cardio. So if I'm, tomorrow's my off day from strength training, I'm gonna do maybe 200 meter sprints on the treadmill, 40 seconds of work, 1 minute of rest, jump back on, keep working. Or I'll do 30 minutes on the VersaClimber, 500 feet intervals, right? So I work for a long time, I stop, I don't rest for a long time, and then I jump right back on, okay? Or you go play soccer. I've been going to play soccer lately. Those sprints of back and forth where you sprint up the field for a little bit, then you stop. It's the same idea. You're spiking that energy system, you're bringing it down, you're spiking it back up. It requires a lot of energy to get up there. It's okay, I can't make it either, they kick me out. It requires a lot of energy to get up there, so that burns the most calories, that burns the most fat. That's the most efficient way to do it, okay? I hope that answers that question. If you have any more questions about that, please ask me like separately. We can get a little more details if you want to like add it to your workouts or something like that. All right, next question. This one's a little bit of a popular one just because it's, you know, it's a question that a lot of people ask about, and it can be confusing, and I understand why. We all love potatoes, right? So how much of potatoes should I be eating? And the big question is sweet potatoes versus white potatoes. Which one's better? Which one's worse? Right? I know we've all had that question. Shauna, don't even go there. I know fried potatoes the worst one. So no fries. All right. This is a big debate because there has been a lot of like research over the years and just like obsessions about potatoes and what a superfood it is and stuff like that. But the thing is, they do deserve a place in our diet. It just depends on how you do it. You got to balance it, and you have to, you know, again, moderation and portion control. It just really has to do with how you eat it. Oh, Eddie. So there's so much to go with what's right and what's wrong, and then what's actually exaggerated when you go out there. The biggest thing is, you know, some people think that you got to avoid potatoes just because of the high glycemic index, so it's going to raise your insulin levels. So completely avoid them. Others say sweet potatoes are a vitamin A superfood, so they're much better than white potatoes because they have a lot of vitamin A. Eat those instead. And then there's also the camp of carb haters. We all know who they are. That they're too high in carbohydrates and they're going to mess up, again, you're going to mess up your insulin and it's going to make you gain body fat. All of that is untrue, minus the vitamin A part. They do have a lot of vitamin A, but it's not a superfood, all right? So, like I said before, if you eat either potato as part of a well-balanced diet, then they're going to provide you with the quality nutrients, as well as contribute to you being full, and then also adding flavors to your meal. What is that? Oh, scales. So just kind of basic things about like sweet potatoes and potatoes. As far as like the difference in nutrients, they're not that far apart. Minus, again, vitamin A in sweet potatoes, you're getting about 400% of your daily value. So yes, they do have a lot of vitamin A, which regular potatoes will not. The thing about eating potatoes too is how you cook them. The cooking method you use with them, obviously you don't want to be frying them. If you do, I'd suggest using an air fryer. Oven roasted potatoes are great as well. Just slice them, put them in the oven. 40 minutes, just cook them. They're nice and easy, and they got a lot of good nutrients for you. So what they'll do is they'll keep you full longer, so you won't feel as hungry so quickly. And then they also have resistant starch, which if you don't know what that does for your body, starch and fiber kind of get fermented in your gut, but it produces these what's called short chain fatty acids, which is important for our stomach because it keeps you full longer. Fatty acids, so they act as fuel for your healthy diet, so it keeps that healthy gut, keeps it all doing what it's supposed to do, and it's kind of gross, but you need all those fibers and the starches for the digestive system to use that and function properly. It also stimulates blood flow through the intestines because, you know, if there's fiber and starch, which is, you know, I don't want to say stuck in the intestine, but it's filled in there, it's going to have to push through, so it's going to stimulate blood flow. Again, with that, you're going to want to drink plenty of water, stay hydrated. And then with the fatty acids, it also increases that mineral absorption, the vitamin absorption, because most vitamins are fat soluble, so it needs a little bit of fat to absorb into our bodies. And then again, one other thing it'll do, you'll also decrease your inflammation in your gut. Okay, so that starch that you get from potatoes is helpful. The fiber you get from potatoes is helpful. If you're eating like 3, 4, 5 potatoes a day, that may not be a good idea. But if you're moderating, maybe a handful of potatoes for lunch, handful of potatoes for dinner, you're probably good. You don't need that much. Fill the rest up with vegetables, fill the rest up with fruits at the beginning of the day. So when we get into the how to eat your potatoes, like I said earlier, I'll kind of read this a little bit. You're gonna want to, like I said, eat them less often when they're loaded with fat or covered in butter, chips, anything that's fried or mashed with a lot of cream. Mashed potatoes are amazing. I love them, and I would eat more of them. But a lot of times when you go to these places that have mashed potatoes, they have cream and butter. It makes them delicious, but it's really not. It's really an unnecessary ingredient if you're trying to lose weight or lose body fat. That is not the same for all carbs. The only thing about tortillas is that they are processed, so you don't get a lot of the nutrient value when they get down to the actual tortilla form. But if you're gonna eat tortillas, eat corn over flour, because your body can digest corn better than flour. All right, and then so for the way you should eat potatoes is boiled, like I said earlier, roasted in the oven, bake them, olive oil, some herbs, maybe just some rosemary, sometimes some red pepper, salt, black pepper, anything like that, just to make them flavorful and just gives it that nice little crunchy taste. So, yeah, that's it about potatoes. And that's it about cardio during your workouts. So yeah, like I said, if you guys have any more questions, if there was something that wasn't clear or maybe I went too fast over it, just message me separately. You can text me or DM me through Instagram. I'd love to hear your questions or hear what else you guys want to know on these episodes. Also, last week I was having like technical difficulties, and I think it's the Instagram platform. So I'm gonna be shifting over, hopefully to YouTube Live. I'd love to hear your roasted potato recipe, man. I'm gonna switch over to YouTube Live, just because I think it's gonna be a better platform. It's gonna be a little more interactive, and I'll be able to really create a list of like a series and just look better. Anyways, I'll let you guys know about next week though, if I'm gonna share it, switch it to YouTube, and then I will share the link on my Instagram. You can tune in on your phone or your laptop. It's the same thing. It just looks different on my end. So, alright guys, thank you again. Appreciate you very much. I will see you guys in 1 week. Love y'all.